What a year for Forza Racing, the reigning European champions, the reigning world champions. We go to the junior final and Forza Racing start. They dominate the front row of the grid. Patterson, the wee lad from Scotland, leads the field out of pit lane. He will start on pole position with the reigning European champion, Johnny, the Englishman Edgar, on the outside of the front row of the grid. They have had an awesome season. European champions, world champions, and they're 1 and 2 on the grid here in atrocious conditions here at Adria. This is the grid. Patterson and Edgar, the Brits for Forza Racing, 1 and 2 on the grid. Brijan, Theo Verneson, Giuseppe Fusco, Francesco Pizzi, Hugo Sass, Dino Boganovic, Maya Veg. She won the WSK Final Cup last year in the mini class. She's been superb all weekend in the Luxor kart. And she starts this one out of grid number 9 alongside Eva Malay. Rafael Camara, the Brazilian, has also been superb. O Menino do Brasil, Rafael Camara, P11 on the grid alongside Javier Sagrera. Some big names further back on the grid. Luigi Coluccio back in 21. Robin Sarge, the Estonian. Frederick Kickenborg just scrapes into the grid, as does Kirill Small. Classified efficiently 17th in the pre-final this morning and just gets in through to the final. Also Alex Catalyst starting midfield, the Singaporean. Harry Thompson on the 8th row of the grid. Starts out of 15. He came from grid number 16 to finish second in the pre-final. But after all the penalties were applied, official time and classification, Harry again has to come from midfield. Can he win it from there? It's a tough ask, but Harry is a tough character. We are ready for the start, the final of the juniors here this afternoon. Look at the Forza Racing team drivers. Well, one of them at the moment at least. Edgar is in 302, actually looking for Patterson. Something has happened to the pole sitter, who is way down the field. He's only coming back to at the back of the group now. Oh, this is a disaster. We were saying what a good year they were having. We will go around one more time. Dexter Patterson is midfield and trying to find his way back into pole position where he should rightfully start. So at the moment, pole position is empty. Patterson, the reigning world champ, to start on pole. And he's trying to find his way through to start on the front row of the grid. Look at the conditions. You can barely make out who is who. 302 is Edgar. We look for Patterson. Where is the pole sitter? Where is the Scot? I can tell you he's at the very back of the field, just looking out the window beyond the rain. He's at the very back of the field. In fact, just being told that Patterson had it turned around on the opening roll-up laps. The conditions are tough even for the reigning world champion. Oh, Patterson from pole position. He's down at the back of the field. If we go green, he will have an almighty task to win here this afternoon. We are ready for a start. We don't have a pole sitter. Alexi Brijan says, how good's this? We go green. Patterson misses the start. He comes across the line in 28th place. Down through turn number 1, a relatively clean start. But look at the spray. Edgar is the race leader. Alexi Brijan up into second spot. What a brilliant start also by Giuseppe Fusco. Up into P3, the boy from Naples. But moving up into the lead now, Alexi Brijan. Contact going down into the hairpin for the first time. Karts going everywhere. There is the Russian Alexi Brijan, who leads the way for Baby Race. Edgar back to the second spot. That's Fusco with the white bodywork. In third, another great start for Giuseppe Fusco, LKE powered Tony Kart. He's in third spot, currently on the podium, but there's a long way to go. We will keep an eye out for Patterson, see what's happened to the reigning world champion. I'll come across the line, Brijan sideways. Catalyst going through, there's Coluccio. Brijan is the race leader from Edgar and Fusco. The Italian runs wide in P3. Hugo Sasset is the German up into P4. A brilliant start from Hugo, and Victor Gustafsson, the Swede, who's had to fight his way from the back of the field throughout all the heats after not setting a decent time in qualifying, now rounds out the top 5. Pitsy, Harry Thompson, here comes Harry. He's now up into 7th from the 8th row of the grid. No mucking around from the Englishman. Meanwhile, Patterson is up into 18th spot. He missed the start and he's in 18th. Well, the conditions may well favour us, Scott. The yellow flag is out. That is for Eva Malay. We've also lost Rafael Kamada, Paula Ron, and Sal Vadiara from Johannesburg in South Africa. Well, we know many of you are watching on down there in SA. Unfortunately for Sal, he is not having a lekker race this afternoon. Brijan from Edgar. Gustafsson now moves up into third spot. The factory Tony Kart. We wouldn't have thought that 48 hours ago when he qualified near the back of the grid. Had to come from about 18th or 20th in each of the heats. And he's now up on the podium. The Swede Gustafsson in P3. Brijan and Edgar. This is a great performance by Alexei. Edgar, the Englishman, from up in the Lakes District, home club of Rowra Kart Club, near Cumbria, or in Cumbria. In second spot, lining up the Russian from Sochi, near the Black Sea, in the south of the nation we used to know as the former Soviet Union. Alexei was not even born when the Iron Curtain fell down. He leads across the line. There's Edgar, tries to clear the visor. Visibility at absolute minimum. The Swede Gustafsson. A superb drive from Victor up into P3. Harry Thompson up into 4 as Edgar goes up the inside. Brijan will sweep around the outside. Johnny, the Englishman, will have to have another go. They will both need to do something about escaping the rest of the field, because the driver on the charge is Thompson, now up into P4 from grid number 15. Hugo Sass, the German, back to 5th. Then it's Fusco, Pizzi, Zane Maloney, Coluccio. Brilliant drive from the young Italian, Luigi, up into P9. He started out of grid number 22. He's passed already 13 karts. Luigi Coluccio, 1 spot ahead of Javier Sagrera. The Singaporean, Alex Catalyst, Maya Veg, Bastian Boos, the Dane, Theo Verneson and Dexter Patterson, the reigning world champion, stuck down in position number 15. Brijan sideways onto the straight. Edgar lines him up. Can he go down into turn number 1? Johnny, the Englishman Edgar, takes the lead here at Adria Raceway. Brijan immediately fights back. Gustafsson still in P3, closing in on the leaders. He needs to catch him, he needs to pass them, because here comes Harry Thompson in P4 on the charge. 1 step off the podium from grid number 15. Brijan, the wide line, he'll get the engine RPM on the exit. Edgar looks behind him. Gustafsson's driving a brilliant race, the Swede. This is only lap number 5 of 16. Thompson down the inside. Not close enough to make a move, but he's lining up the Swedish driver, Victor Gustafsson, in the factory Tony Kart. Over the ripple strip goes Brijan. Gustafsson down the inside. He'll take Edgar, but the Englishman will get him on the exit. He was briefly into second spot, and Thompson watched all that unfold. They come across the line. There's Edgar's lost a bit of time that time, 4 tenths. Thompson, fastest lap of the race, a 1:05.9. He was 7/10 of a second faster than Brijan last time round. Victor Gustafsson from Sweden, Johnny the Englishman, Edgar. The race is being led by the Russian, Alexei Brijan for Team Baby Race. Sideways on the exit, he'll be in trouble here. Again locks it up under brakes. Here comes Harry once again. Thompson in P4, closing in on the leaders. Then it's Hugo Sass, Fusco, still in 6. Coluccio from grid 22. Luigi Coluccio. There he is at the top of your screen. He's now in position 7. Gustafsson fights his way past Edgar. Thompson, the two English drivers now 3 and 4. That gives Brijan a little bit of breathing space. They come down towards the Magny-Cours chicane. Thompson on the back of his countryman over the ripple strip. Watch them on the exit. Even in these wet conditions, they're bouncing off the rev limiter at 14,000 RPM. The 125cc Vortex engine of Brijan. Head of the Simmel power plant of Gustafsson. Edgar. Gustafsson now down into the lead. Takes Brijan. A nice spot to do it. Although Brijan, give the Russian some credit, aggressively retakes the lead. This has been a brilliant performance from Alexei Brijan. From just outside Sochi in southern Russia near the Black Sea. Not too far from where the Winter Olympics were held just a couple of years ago, where Russia hosts the Formula One Grand Prix at the Sochi circuit. That's where Alexei was born. Now lives in Vienna in Austria. Now drives for the Baby Race team and now leads the final of the juniors here at the WSK.